Trump is leading yet another effort to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act.
That's right, but this last-minute plan could have the very same outcome.
KCAL 9 political reporter Dave Bryan is following all of this evening's developments. Dave?
Yeah, tonight it's starting to look like the third time may not be the charm in this case. Tonight it appears President Trump's third attempt to pass a new health care bill to replace Obamacare could meet the same fate as his first two attempts. DOA. No vote and too many defectors from his own party. And there is some evidence that the mounting losses are now getting under the president's skin. With time and votes running out for the Trump administration's third attempt to repeal and replace Obamacare, the sticking point appears to be the impact the new proposal would have on people who have pre-existing conditions like cancer, despite the best efforts of the bill's supporters.
The ability for people with pre-existing conditions to have continuous coverage as the rule of the land across the country, no matter what happens. And then if a state wants to request a waiver, even if that state requests a waiver and gets a waiver, continuous coverage is still the law of the land, can't be waived for people with pre-existing conditions.
The entire world is watching.
President Trump, appearing to be increasingly frustrated, tried to turn up the heat on opponents and Republican holdouts.
How's health care coming, folks? How's it doing? All right, we're moving along. I think it's time now, right?
But with the House going on recess Friday for 11 days and perhaps losing what little momentum is left, the next 2 days could be decisive.
We're excited about this policy. We're making very good progress with our members, and our president has been instrumental in that.
However, with no vote being scheduled so far and no predictions of victory, the writing may be on the wall, especially when one of the leading Republican health care experts has now announced he'll vote no.
You know, from day one, I've supported the rights of those with pre-existing illnesses to be covered. And in my view, this undermines that effort, and I can't be a part of it.
According to several Capitol Hill news organizations, 22 House Republicans, including 4 California GOP Congress members, are now opposed to the bill. That means opponents are just one more no vote away from blocking the 216 votes it would take to pass the bill. And all Democrats are expected to be against the bill. And this tearful appeal from late-night TV host and comedian Jimmy Kimmel, whose newborn son has a serious heart condition, could be the final blow for the latest health care bill.
If your baby is going to die, and it doesn't have to, it shouldn't matter how much money you make. I think that's something that, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat or something else, we all agree on that, right? I mean, we do. Whatever your party, whatever you believe, whatever you support, we need to make sure that the people who are supposed to represent us, the people who are meeting about this right now in Washington, understand that very clearly. Let's stop with the nonsense.
Ironically, even as the latest health care bill was melting down, the bipartisan budget bill agreement was sealed.
This is what winning looks like. After years of partisan bickering and gridlock, this bill is a clear win for the American people.
But not everyone was celebrating the budget deal, including some conservative Republicans who charged the leadership and the White House gave away too much to the Democrats, including continued funding for Planned Parenthood, a red flag for evangelical pro-lifers. The president fired off 2 tweets which appear to reflect his frustration with all the criticism and gridlock, concluding with a clear threat of a government shutdown in the fall when the current funding bill runs out, saying, "Our country needs a good shutdown in September to fix mess." Breitbart senior editor Joel Pollack, who was speaking to the LA World Affairs Council Tuesday evening, told me he thinks the president's tweet was more strategic than a reflection of his frustration.
With the next budget negotiations in the fall, I think there is some frustration there, but I think a lot of what he's doing is also posturing to make sure that House Republican leaders have some cover to demand more, and that he has some cover when he has to compromise to accept somewhat less, perhaps, than Republicans initially would have wanted.
Now, in his morning tweets, the president explained that he had to make some concessions because he says Senate rules require 60 votes to shut down a filibuster and pass legislation. The president suggested perhaps those rules should be changed. Jeff, Lena, back to you.